guys, Rusty K's Rad Rods Garage. Wanted to bring you an update on the 68 Dodge Charger factory stock Donn Yost build. Again, I'm going through his Patreon channel and sort of doing what he did with this build for a factory stock. And I just want to bring you an update, what we got going on. We got some things in color, and things are moving right along. So it's kind of hodgepodge a little bit here, but I do have the engine starting to be put together. And if you notice, I do have a little bit of grime and grease on here, even though it's factory stock. You know, Donn Yost's explanation is that it's been sitting around on the lot for a little while, so it's got a little bit of grease and grime. So we've got the engine going. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. We do have the interior panels done in a semi-gloss black, and we'll start to get these detailed up. There'll be some bare metal foil work done on the interior door panels. And let's see what else we have going on. I do have the bottom of the frame in primer, and what we're going to do is we're going to spray some body color overspray at an angle here. What they did in the factory stock, they had some body spray or some overspray on those, and so we'll do that. We'll hit this with body color, just sort of a mist coat for that, and then we'll get that detailed up. But I do have the oh, here's the rest of the interior. I do have the seats painted in a semi-gloss black, and then I've got the carpeting there. You can see these aren't glued in; these are just sort of sitting here. So we've still got to get the seat belts and everything detailed up on the interior, but that's coming along as well. But we do have the body in color. I am using the MCW Seafoam Turquoise Metallic, and if you guys have ever used the MCW paints, these are automotive paints, so make sure that you are using your respirators. Is highly got a lot of fumes to it, but the color's coming out great. This is the body. So what we did on the body here is we dry sanded it up to 12,000, and then we sprayed a white primer on it, and we sanded that from 3,200, wet sanded that from 3,200 up to 12,000, and then we sprayed the paint. After we sprayed the paint, there were some little nubs in, so I had to wet sand that out. And when you're wet sanding metallics, you got to be careful, especially with this being automotive paint. The flakes are a little bit out of scale, but not too bad. Those flakes will start to smear on you a little bit. So after I wet sanded this and got the nubs out, and if you're going to wet sand part of it, you got to wet sand the whole thing. So once I got the nubs out, I went back and sprayed some mist coats of the color again, and I immediately shot some wet coat lacquer, the wet look lacquer by Testers, over top of this. So this is clear coated. I will go back, and not sure if it's going to need wet sanded, but I will go ahead and polish this out. The hood is done as well, and the back valance is done. I did shoot some of the wheels in body color. These are going to get some steelies on it and some beauty rings, so the body color will help make that pop. So what else do we have going on with this build? I do have some parts here that still need to get into some semi-gloss black. I should have shot them all at the same time, but I didn't, so I still got some parts that need to go into semi-gloss black. And I do still have a few parts that I'm going to put into color. Again, I should have shot these at the same time, but didn't realize I was going to put these in body color. So these will go back and have that done. Other than that, we are just plugging along, you know, before the big detail starts. This is just the big parts of the build before we get into some of the detail work. As we get the engine built, I do have to go and put a little bit of weathering on the fan and some of the pulleys, and then we'll get this thing wired up. I still have some parts coming in for this as far as some of the wiring that I had to order, so we'll get that going. But the kit's going together. I mean, really haven't put anything together yet, but it seems like it goes together pretty well from the videos I've been watching with Donn Yost. And again, Don, if you happen to see this, I hope you're doing well, and hope you're getting better, and hope you're on the mend. So there we are, update number 2 on the 68 Dodge Charger factory stock. Hope you guys are having a great week. Thanks.